So we're going to factor by grouping using the AC method. First, we'll start with multiplying a times c, which is an 8 times negative 9. Negative 72 gives us a list of several factorization possibilities. So let's list those first. So I've listed all of the factorizations of negative 72. Of course, using one negative factor and one positive factor. If you look at the fact that I chose the smaller factor as the negative factor, it goes back to the middle term of the trinomial. Since the middle term of the trinomial is positive, that means that the larger factor would need to be positive. So next, we're going to determine which of the possibilities and factorizations can give us the sum of a positive 6. So if we were to take the sum of negative 1 and a positive 72, that would equal to a positive 71. Negative 2 and a positive 36, the sum is 34. Negative 3 and a positive 24, the sum is 21. Negative 4 and a positive 8, the sum is 14. Negative 6 and a positive 12, the sum is 6. And a negative 8 and a positive 9, the sum is 1. So of course we see that negative 6 and a positive 12 gives us the sum of a positive 6. So those are the two factors that we're going to use to create our 4-term polynomial. So we keep the first term, which is 8x squared. We also keep the last term, which is a negative 9. But we're going to use negative 6 and 12 for the two middle terms and rewrite 6z. So instead of 6z, we're going to use negative 6z plus 12z. Now we can factor by grouping. The GCF of 8z squared minus 6z is 2z. After factoring out the GCF, that leaves us with 4z minus 3. The GCF of 12z minus 9 is 3. And after factoring out 3, we're left with 4z minus 3. So we know that we've grouped correctly since we have matching common factors. Therefore, the final answer includes the common factor 4z minus 3, and the other binomial includes the coefficients 2z, and the other coefficient a positive 3. Next, we're going to factor a binomial using the difference of two squares. But first, we need to prove that we have two perfect squares. 64x squared is a perfect square because 8x times 8x does equal to 64x squared. 81y squared is also a perfect square since 9y times 9y equals to 81y squared. We have the difference between the two, in other words, the subtraction of those two perfect squares. Therefore, we can use the difference of squares formula. So a will equal to our ax, and b will equal to 9y. Therefore, the factors of the binomial are 8x plus 9y times 8x minus 9y.